Money is not a math problem. If it were, the smartest people on earth would all be rich. People with PhDs in astrophysics or finance would never go bankrupt. But they do, every single day. You were raised to believe a lie. To become wealthy, you just need higher intelligence, complex formulas, and the right strategy. If that were true, every economist would be a billionaire, and every janitor would be broke. But the world rarely works that way. In fact, it often works in the exact opposite way, because wealth isn't determined by how much you know. It's a soft skill, a behavior, a pattern, a mindset. Yet most people are still operating with outdated poverty software without knowing it. They're trying to solve a psychological problem with a calculator. Today, we're going to uninstall that software. We're not just summarizing a book, we're walking you through a transformation in how you understand value. There are 3 stages. Most people never escape stage 1. They stay stuck in the math. And everything you're about to hear comes from one of the most influential financial books of our generation, The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel, a book that didn't sell millions because it teaches formulas, but because it explains why people with the same salary, same education, and same opportunities end up with completely different financial lives. This is not a book about money. It's a book about human behavior, including yours. By the end of this video, you'll be in stage 3. Let's begin. Let me tell you 2 true stories that defy everything we're taught. On one side, Richard Fusconi, a Harvard-educated Merrill Lynch executive. Elite, decorated, powerful, a 40 under 40 star. He had the mansion, the status, the intellect. He once threw gold coins into the ocean just to watch them sink. He broke a $500 lamp in a restaurant and casually handed the manager $5,000 to forget about it. To him, money was endless, a toy. He believed his wealth was the product of his brilliance. Then 2008 hit. His leverage crushed him. His mansion was foreclosed. He went bankrupt. The genius went to zero. Now look at the opposite end of the spectrum. Ronald Reed, a janitor. He swept floors at JCPenney, fixed tires at a gas station, never earned a high salary, no degree, no special skills, no side hustle. And yet, when he died at 92, he quietly left behind $8 million. Not luck, not genius, not insider access, just decades of simple, boring behavior, saving a little, buying solid companies, and waiting. This comparison isn't just inspiring, it's confronting. It reveals truth. Your financial outcome depends far less on intelligence and far more on behavior. Patience beats ego. Humility beats brilliance. Consistency beats intensity. But there's a deeper layer, the part most people never notice. We love judging other people's money decisions. Why did he buy a car he can't afford? Why does she keep her cash under the mattress? Why do the poor buy lottery tickets? But here's the twist. No one is crazy. We're all reacting to the world we grew up in. If you were born in 1970, the stock market exploded during your teen years. To you, investing feels natural. If you were born in 1950, the market went nowhere for 20 years. To you, investing feels like a scam. If you grew up in poverty, cash feels like safety. If you grew up wealthy, cash feels like wasted potential. We think we make decisions with spreadsheets, but most decisions come from emotional memories and old survival patterns. We're not logical. We're historical. Understanding this lets you stop judging others. And more importantly, stop judging yourself. But even if you master your behavior, even if you're patient like the janitor, there's a psychological trap waiting the moment you succeed. And this trap has destroyed more wealthy people than any recession ever could. There's a massive difference between getting wealthy and staying wealthy. They require opposite skills. Getting wealthy requires optimism, boldness, and risk-taking. Staying wealthy requires paranoia, humility, and restraint. And the biggest reason people fail? They don't understand enough. There's a famous story about Kurt Vonnegut and Joseph Heller. They were at a party hosted by a billionaire hedge fund manager. Vonnegut said, "Joseph, our host made more money today than your book Catch 22 has made in its entire history." Heller replied, "Yes, but I have something he will never have, enough. This is the hardest financial skill on earth. Getting the goalpost to stop moving. You get the promotion, you want the bigger house. You get the bigger house, you want the luxury car. You get the luxury car, social media shows you someone with a jet. If your expectations rise faster than your income, you'll never feel wealthy. No matter how much you earn, you become a high-income person who is technically broke, a hamster on a gold-plated wheel. So how do you escape? You rely on the most powerful force in the universe, compounding. We all know the definition, but almost no one understands its scale. Consider Warren Buffett, net worth over $84 billion. But here's the part most people miss. $81.5 billion came after his 65th birthday. Over 90% of his wealth came after the age most people retire. If Buffett had started at 30 and stopped at 60, you would have never heard of him. His genius wasn't stock picking. His genius was endurance. He didn't get wiped out by debt. He didn't chase every trend. He didn't panic in crashes. He stayed in the game. Compounding is like planting an oak tree. For the first decade, it looks like nothing. Give it 50 years, and it's unstoppable. Most people never see the oak because they dig up the seed every few years to check if it's growing. They take on leverage. They rush, they get greedy, and they blow themselves up before compounding has a chance. The lesson? The fastest way to get rich is to play the longest game possible. Survival is the strategy. But if you survive, and if your wealth grows, what do you actually win? It's not what you think. So, if you master your behavior and survive the risks, and let time do its work, what's the reward? It's not the Ferrari, not the penthouse, not the Instagram lifestyle. If you think that way, you're still in stage one. Morgan Housel says it simply, wealth is what you don't see. Spending money to show people you have money is the fastest way to have less money. True wealth is hidden. It's the money you didn't spend. The options you haven't used yet, the opportunities you can wait for. And the greatest dividend of wealth is freedom. The ability to wake up and say, I choose my day. The power to say no to a boss. The ability to survive an emergency without panic. The option to wait for the right job instead of grabbing the first one out of fear. The real flex is time. Income minus ego equals wealth. And here's the best part. The lever that creates this freedom is fully under your control. Not your income, not your investment returns, your savings rate. A high income means nothing if your ego grows just as fast. But a high savings rate buys you time, and time buys you freedom. Every dollar you save isn't a sacrifice. It's a purchase. You're buying a piece of your future freedom. You're buying autonomy. You're buying space to breathe. Once you feel that shift, you'll never look at a price tag the same way again. Let's rewrite your operating system. Rule 1, stop chasing status. Status is a liability. Freedom is the asset. Rule 2, respect the invisible forces. Luck and risk shape more of your life than you realize. Be humble when you win. Be gentle when you lose. And stay in the game. Rule 3, define enough. The only way to win is to stop running someone else's race. You're no longer playing a math game. You're playing a behavior game. A game where patience beats intelligence. Survival beats brilliance. Freedom beats luxury. Most people will chase bigger numbers. Without ever understanding the psychology behind them, they will die rich in money, but poor in time. But not you. You've upgraded your software. You understand that money is a tool, one that can build a cage, or a key. The difference is your behavior. If this shifted how you think about money, subscribe, not for motivation, but for a calmer, wiser version of you. Most people never question the system. You just did. You're not running anymore. You're rewiring. Welcome to a new way of thinking.